So you're getting traffic coming into your website, your landing page, and your funnel. Maybe it's converting okay. Maybe you have a media buyer saying, hey man, my traffic's awesome. It's because it's
not converting.
So how can you actually make sure that you're converting more of that traffic coming in into high quality leads or sales? Pouring more traffic into your funnel or website is not always the answer when you're looking to scale. Imagine if you could get more leads and sales without spending a cent more on traffic. Well, that's exactly how CRO or conversion rate optimization can help. However, I find that it's a little bit misunderstood by marketers and business owners in general, as it is not a silver bullet to help you fix all your problems. I've run hundreds of split tests in my career, launching over 500 different funnels. So I've gone through all of the trauma of getting this wrong. And in today's video, team, I'm going to be walking you through what is CRO? Should you even be running a split test? What should you be optimizing your split test for? How to come up with split test ideas? How to know what to split test once you've come up with the ideas? The best resources for you to go to after this video, and some of my final tips to make sure you can avoid the common pitfalls that most people fall into. All right, let's get into it. So what is CRO? Well, it's the process of increasing the percentage of conversions from a website, a funnel, or an app. What does that even mean? Basically, it's getting more people to take action. So at the moment, let's say that you get 100 visitors to your web page, right? And 10 of them take the action that the page wants them to take. Well, then you have a 10% conversion rate. And so CRO would come in and you would use that to figure out how you can make more of that traffic, more of the users who land on that page, take the action you want them to take. For most businesses, CRO involves A/B split tests or multivariate split testing. Now, multivariate can mean that you're testing lots of little things all at once. This is what the big guys like Amazon or Apple do, right? They can test multiple things all at once on the website because they're generating enough traffic that those numbers make sense. For us mere mortals, or for websites and funnels getting a lot less traffic, we are typically running A/B split tests. So I'm going to be focusing on that today. And CRO, conversion rate optimization, is often done with these A/B split tests, which means that you are only testing one thing on either of the pages. You're running a strong hypothesis and you're figuring out which one of these variants. So you have the control, which is what you currently have, and then you might have variant A, which is the thing you're testing. And that is how you do your A/B split test. Basically, your funnel is just what you have by default in your business. Funnel is not optional. It's just every single touch point. And so when it comes to CRO, what we're doing is we're looking at all of these touch points and we're trying to figure out where can we make the increases? Where are the best levers so that we can actually turn more of this traffic at the top end into revenue, which is the ultimate goal for all businesses. So should you actually run a split test? Well, let's think about what is CRO, conversion rate optimization. And the key really is in the optimization, right? Optimization meaning you're taking something that's already working to the next level. So when it comes to your marketing, there's these foundations that you need to build. You need to understand who your target market is. You need to have your brand messaging, your positioning, your key social proof, and you need to have an offer. You need to have the foundations so you have a control to even split test against. What I see a lot of businesses getting wrong is that they don't really have a clearly defined product or service offering, or they're not really sure on what makes them different from their competitors, right? And they don't really talk to their target market. They don't really understand, in the target market's words, their pain points, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, and ultimately the dream outcome that they're actually selling. So because they don't know all of this, when they start to do split tests, they just split test random stuff. They have no rhyme or rhythm to what they're actually split testing, which means that they can't actually grow and scale. They're not optimizing anything. They're just mindlessly testing. So you should not run a split test if you don't have those foundations down pat. The next is, do you have good data to come up with ideas? I'm going to be talking a little bit more about how to collect that data shortly. But with marketing, it's just inputs and outputs, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So if you have crappy data or no data at all, and the way that you're coming up with your hypotheses for your split test is because you think, or you have an assumption, or you're just making it up, your split tests are never going to get you the results that you want. And ultimately, you really need to be clear on these things. What are you testing? Do you even have enough traffic to test? Why do you want to test? And what is your hypothesis? So if you can be clear on those things and they all are actually good answers, and the answer is we have something already working and we want to figure out how to take it to the next level, or maybe here, the answer is we're not sure what our messaging is, but we're going to run a contained test with a strong hypothesis to see which messaging the market resonates with. You always want to have a really, really strong why before you go and do the how, the tactics, right? You always want to know what problem are we really solving here. So that's how you know whether or not you should actually be split testing it. And now, what should you be optimizing for? Because the thing is, you cannot take conversion rate to the bank. Let me explain. So for example, when I used to work in a company called Founder, this awesome company who has these really, really good courses by practitioners, and I ran the sales funnel and CRO team. So we would launch new courses and then we would move them to Evergreen and split test and improve them. Now, when I was running the split testing there and I was running tests to the masterclass opt-in page, right? So this is the page to sign up for a webinar effectively. What it would be really, really easy to do and to fall into the trap of is improving the conversion rate on that. Easy, right? How to get more people to sign up for a free training. But is that the problem that I'm really trying to solve? No. So what I have to be really careful of with these funnels is to think about the North Star metric. What are we actually optimizing for? And what I was optimizing for was not masterclass subscriptions or signups, but actually students, people who came through and spent money as a student. So if I made the mistake and I was running split tests purely trying to increase the signups on the masterclass page, what you could see then is actually down the funnel, further down the funnel, when people actually purchase, that could actually decrease. So sometimes you can see a decrease in conversion rate at top of funnel, but you can see an increase in conversion rate downstream. Why? Because you might have adjusted your messaging or your copy or your offer so that you're bringing in more high quality leads and actually filtering out the people that you are not for. And that's not a bad thing. So some people get really obsessed with conversion rate optimization. Yes, of course, cool. Obviously, we all want more leads, but do you? No, you want more buyers. So you want to make sure when it comes to conversion rate optimization, you're not exclusively looking in a silo at these metrics at the top of the funnel. You're always looking downstream to that North Star metric that is driving you usually revenue in the business. And how can you come up with split test ideas? Now, a lot of businesses that I go into and help, they have these ideas. They might randomly split test stuff, but there's no process to what they're doing. So there's two data sources that you can look at to come up with your split test ideas. Number one is the quantitative. So this is the numbers, right? But when you're looking at numbers like in analytics or Shopify or Hyros or however you do that, then all that is telling you is the what. Quantitative data only tells you the what is happening, yeah? It doesn't tell you the why. And so when you are deciding which split tests to do, this is called coming up with your hypotheses, you also want to layer in qualitative data, because the qualitative data tells you the why. It helps you to tell a story. What should you layer in? You can layer in watching user sessions. I've watched like hundreds of hours of those. Sometimes I'll watch user sessions and I'll just find UX errors and go, oh my gosh, that is so stupid. That's a heuristic update, right? A rule of thumb, that's a bleeding neck. We don't need to split test that. The button isn't clickable and I can see people rage clicking on something. Or sometimes I've watched these user sessions and I've seen people clicking random parts of the design that was distracting them. But you should also have feedback loops for really rich data. So you should be having onboarding surveys. Why didn't you buy surveys? You should be talking to the sales team. You should be talking to the customer support team. So you have these really rich qualitative data insights to base your ideas on what to split test. Ultimately, if you don't understand your target market and you don't understand the UX and the UI, then what are you making your decisions on to choose what to split test? Your data needs to tell a story. So you can't just randomly pluck out some quantitative data and go, boom, makes sense, I'm going to go do this. You need to have deeper work and deeper reasons into what you want to split test. Okay, so now you know how to come up with ideas. How do you know which of these ideas you should actually split test? And the thing is, not every test is created equal. And if you are running tests in a company or for yourself, you'll probably notice that everyone around you has an opinion about what you should be split testing. So how do you manage all of these ideas and thoughts, not just of your own, but often externally coming at you? And a really easy way to do that is by using a pie framework, which I'm going to show you on the screen now. Okay, so this pie framework is from a book, You Should Test That. And you should read that if you want to learn more about split testing. But effectively, we made this after reading the book. You have all of your ideas, right? And what I would normally do is when I was working client side was every quarter, because split tests take a while to run, I would do a big ideation session with my team. We would go through all of the data and we would come up with all of our ideas. Then this is where we come up with our good hypotheses, right? So the formula you can use for a good hypothesis: changing X into Y will increase conversion goal because viewed evidence or what you've seen. So you can use something like that, but you want to have a reason behind your idea. Okay, so once you have all of your ideas down into proper hypotheses, then you can score them: potential, importance, and ease. Potential is how much potential does the task have to improve the bottom line of your business. Importance is how important is the task to your business: cost, traffic, volume, ROI. And then ease, how easy will the task be to complete? And this can be complexity wise or time based, technical or political. And then the higher the score, the higher the priority in the testing schedule. And then that's just a really easy way to prioritize these things. And so the next time somebody says, oh, can we do this? Yes, maybe I'll put it into the split test framework and we'll see how it scores. And it takes out the subjectiveness of it and makes it very black and white. But ultimately, you should be focusing on usually the things higher up on the page, right? So if you actually look at the scroll maps on your pages, you'll notice that most people don't get past the first few panels. So what happens is a lot of people hide their good stuff down below. So when you're looking at the qualitative data, you might see where people are spending the most amount of time. Maybe you need to move that up. You might see where people are reading the most. Maybe that's a really key message that you need to put into your headline. Or maybe it's something a bit confusing that you could give further clarity with some graphic design. Additionally, when you want to come up with ideas, what you can also do is go to your ads. On the ad level, hey, what ads are working? What hooks are working? What angles are working? You can go to your content team. Hey, what's gone off? What's gone viral? What's gotten a lot of engagement lately? You can go read the comments in all of these things as well. And so often where we like to focus is in the headline. That's an easy way if you want to be testing messaging and getting quick wins, right? Usually, as David Ogilvy says, 80 cents of every dollar comes from your headline, and that's usually a good place to start. But ultimately, if you have something not converting at all, it's probably an offer issue. And I have a video on how to create golden hippo offers. You can go and check out, because maybe you just need to totally change your offer and the positioning of the offer. So let me show you a couple of examples. So this is an example where the above the fold and the messaging. Now, we didn't just come up with this and then go, oh, I think this will be fun, this will work. We surveyed the customers, we surveyed the non-customers, we distilled that down, we translated that research into messaging. We had the hypotheses that if we could change it from being so feature-based to talking into the words of the target market, then that would improve conversion. Another example here is we changed the offer and the pricing. And this took the client from a 0.5% conversion rate on purchase to 8% cold traffic Facebook, right? And again, we didn't just sit there and think, this could be cute. We came up with hypotheses, we researched, we spoke to customers, we surveyed, we researched the market, and that's how we came up with good test ideas. So I've already mentioned it, but one of the best resources that goes through all of this more in depth, the lift model, how to come up with split test ideas, is the book You Should Test That. And now here's a few tips that I've learned along the way that are going to help you to run your future split tests and CRO initiatives. Number one is to always run something until statistical significance. So you can use this tool by Neil Patel, the A/B testing calculator, to see if you've hit statistical significance. If you don't get that, what happens is you can keep rolling out tests that you think are winners, and then you get this incremental degradation. We keep making it worse and worse and worse, because if you don't let a test run for the time it needs, well, then you aren't actually getting a conclusive test. And I've watched so many split tests where the variant or the control is winning for a really long time. And I think, maybe I should just roll that out. And then I think, no, eat my own dog food. Don't do that. And once the test concludes, either it's inconclusive, which happens a lot on split testing. You don't always get clear winners, or the variant or the other control actually overtook at the end one when it reached statistical significance. The next tip is to always keep a learning log. And that's a really simple spreadsheet, but you want to keep a log of the ideas that you've tested and the results and when you made a change in case you ever need to revert back or you need to hand over the learnings. And finally, number 3, as I said earlier, not all tests are created equal. Make sure you're focusing on the big opportunities, and that's how that PI framework will help you. Now, if you would like access to the PI framework template or anything else maybe that I've shown you, just let me know in the comments and I'm more than happy to share it so that it can make it easy and you don't have to make your own. Otherwise, team, thank you so much for joining me for another training. I hope you enjoyed and you got something out of it. If you have a landing page or a website or a funnel you're thinking about running some split tests to, why not drop them into the comments and I'll see if I can find you some quick wins or ideas on what to split test. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next video.